use my affiliate link to support the channel down in the description. Hey, what is up, guys? We are at Genesis Gaming, joined by, once again, Wheelz. And what did you do tonight?
I went undefeated with Kashtira tonight.
Are you playing any sort of variant of Kashtira? Are you on Kashtira Snake Eye?
No, it's just pure Kash.
That's crazy. I haven't seen anybody doing anything with pure Kashtira, so I had to get the profile for you guys. You really smashed the locals tonight, so I think this will be a fun build for people to check out. Do you have any shoutouts before we get into it?
Shout out the Shadow Realm and shout out Genesis Gaming and Hobby, where we have our locals every night. And one more shout out to Dana, who I am borrowing a lot of these cards for this deck from. So a big shout out to her for letting me use a bunch of these, because wouldn't really be possible without her, so thank you to her.
Definitely. How many in the main deck?
40 cards in the main.
All right, let's see it.
All right, starting off, we have 3 Kashtira Unicorn. I don't have to really say much about why I'm playing 3 of the Kashtira monsters I am. Unicorn searches a spell and rips a card from the extra deck upon attack declaration or at resolution of your opponent activating a monster effect. The card's broken to start with. Getting to rip cards from the extra deck and getting access to Birth or Theosis is just absolutely amazing. So 3 of it is just absolutely mandatory. After that, 3 Fenrir. Being able to search any of the Kashtira monsters is absolutely nuts. Getting access to Unicorn or Rise Heart, which we also have 3 of, is just absolutely insane. And this banishes a face-up card on the field after resolution of a monster effect, which is just great removal effect. Rise
Do you
Heart,
like the 3?
I love the 3. Just the versatility of having 3 of each of these, because Rise Heart itself is also a play starter if you have Birth in your hand or a way to Birth. This can also just be a play starter because you can use Birth's effect to summon a banished Kashtira after you banish Kashtira off of Rise Heart effect to get your plays going that way. I did that a few times tonight, actually, where this was my play starter. So I love 3 Rise Heart. It came in handy today. I opened up a few hands that also had multiples of it in it, but I'll take I'll take that trade. You know, it was really nice. After that, the only other 2 Kashtira monsters I'm playing are 1 Ogre and 1 Scareclaw. Ogre being able to search a trap is useful for the 1 preparations I play. Well, there it is. You know, we just got the 1 of it. We only need 1 of it. Its effect is useful enough, but we don't really want to see multiples of any of these.
What are you doing with preparations in Ogre?
So Ogre effect, after resolution of a monster effect, looks at the top 5 of your opponent's deck, banishes 1 face down, and then puts them back in the same order. It's an interesting effect. It can be useful hitting some key cards, but it's kind of more random than the other one, so it's not as useful, which is why I don't really want more of it. But getting access to preparations is enough, especially since you can just summon this off of Theosis, or you can get it off of the Rise Heart banish and then summon it off of Birth if you already have everything else. There's different ways to access it, so you don't really need more than 1 of it throughout any part of your combo, so just having 1 of it to search the 1 preparations is all you really need, in my opinion.
Did you miss the tier cache at all? Or why are you not running tier cache?
I'm not running tier cache specifically because I am running Shifter instead.
Okay.
I didn't really need the graveyard effect of Tier Limits Kashtira. Sorry, English just escaped my mind for a second there. I didn't need its graveyard effect, and it is kind of half of the card. While it can just be an extender on its own right, it didn't feel necessary for anything. Plus, it would just be taking up spots for generic cards and hand traps, so it didn't feel overall worth the slot for it, even though it isn't a bad card. It just didn't feel worth it when I was going through and building. It just didn't feel worth it.
Fair enough.
After that, we have 3 Wraithoth. Wraithoth searches any of your Kashtira monsters, and if Shangri-La is on the field, after resolution of its effect, it pops a card on the field. So overall, plus it gives all of your guys an attack boost for each different attribute on the field. It's just overall really nice and just a great card. There's no downside to this card. 3 of it is basically mandatory. At least I think it is. If you disagree, let me know, but I don't think you can argue that.
In the pure cache build?
Yeah. 3 Birth, you need 3 Birth. Birth is, as Darth Nash 6 would say, the most bannable card for Kashtira. So absolutely broken, absolutely mandatory at 3. Being able to summon back your banished Kashtiras is absolutely insane synergy with something like Shifter or the Rise Heart Banish, which I've mentioned multiple times already. Is technical graveyard interruption if your opponent activates a spell card. They do need to have 3 cards in their graveyard already, but that's
so
fine.
Good against my deck, dude.
Yeah. Some decks that's going to happen anyway, so that's going to be a active or live effect most of the time. The utility and versatility of this card, plus its first effect allows you to normal summon level 7 or higher monsters, or what is it? Yeah, just level 7 monsters without tributing. So, also all of your monsters.
Great extender.
Yep, it also turns all your guys into just normal summons, so it's even better. I only have 2 Theosis in here.
Why 2 Theosis? That's
so,
spicy.
Me and Dana, she only had 2 and I don't own 1, so we only had 2 to play.
Oh, so you would run?
I would run 3. I was thinking of what the other slot would be, and I was thinking that the third Theosis might just be the Rhoda, and then I opened a hand where this won me the game because it was the only thing that got me to an actual play starter. Because I opened Bertha and Rhoda as the only 2 like as the only
2 Theosis to play. I don't know.
So I might play 3 of it. I might just take out something else. Who knows? But definitely worked out where I had 1 Rhoda in place of it, and it ended up working out to search the Rise Heart to get my plays going instead. So it ended up working out. I'll take it. I won't complain. So also 1 Rhoda in the deck. After that, that's all the Kashtira main deck cards. After that, we just have the rest of the non-engine. We have 3 Ash Blossom, just a generically useful hand trap. Been one of the best since it came out, or right after it came out, or something like that. It's been just fantastic. So I absolutely love Ash. Yeah, there's Hita in the format, but I don't care about that. We're gonna banish the graveyard with Shifter anyway, so who cares?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
And I guess we'll do a quick talk of Shifter. This card is either it's either fantastic or awful. You either love it or hate it. There's no in between. This card is a card I flop on it, whether I love or hate it, but it is absolutely broken in this deck, so it's mandatory.
Hope certain decks actually play, though. It's really nice for the decks like yours where banishing is okay.
Yep, Birth allows me to summon back my banished Kashtiras. I don't quite mind.
Difference.
Yeah, I don't mind getting my guys banished. Are you kidding me? What's the difference to me? After that, we have 3 Ghost Mourner.
You like the Ghost Mourner?
This one is a bit more of an odd choice in comparison to something like Ash or D-Shifter. Ghost Mourner, it's just an extra effect negate, especially with Tempai in the format. This is upon special summon of a monster, which is just really nice to hit some of those effects which you can't Veiler in battle phase, but you can use this since Tempai likes to special summon during the battle phase. That kind of interaction right there, plus this is usable on my turn for something like IP summoning Apollosa. It's not the best there, but anything, even summoning SP Little Knight, not having to use one of my effects on the field and chaining this, meaning they have to chain the SP Little Knight for its effect to resolve. Forcing those kind of interactions earlier than my opponent wants to is actually insane because they're not using those interactions when they want to.
Yep.
So something like this where it's just the versatility of being usable on both players' turns and in the battle phase, I like it better than Veiler for that reason, even though Veiler is technically more, malleable while in the main phase 1 of your opponent's turn. While it is technically better there, it's worse everywhere else, so I like this one better. Plus, Veiler has to be sent to grave. That does not, so it also works under Shifter.
Very good right now, I think.
Yeah, so I love Mourner. I think that you should be playing it, or at least considering it. It is a really good card. I love Mourner. After that, we have 3 Pot of Prosperity.
Another Kashtira card.
Yeah, no, this has just become a Kashtira staple. It triggers Shangri-Era, if your opponent activates it, it can trigger Shangri-Era, but also being able to just dig 6 deep into my deck when I don't have a lot all the time. A lot of these are play starters, so digging 6 deep just gives us access to the top 11 cards of our deck when we're going first. And that's if I start with this. I did it a few times today where I went through my entire combo and at the end of my turn, activated Prosperity. I had everything already and then activated Prosperity at the very end of my turn to just get generic cards at the very end of my turn. This card is broken because it can either be a play starter or it gets you generic pieces for your end board. It's absolutely broken. The cost of banishing 3 to 6 from your extra deck, it's fine. If you decks can afford it. So if you're playing a deck that can afford it, like mine is, I barely use the extra deck. I summoned I think 5 cards out of here tonight. So, yeah, it's not completely necessary with Kashtira, so Prosperity just ends up being free extenders, free starters, and whatever else you need it to be. It's insane. Plus, it's Ash Bait at the end of the day if you want to start with it. After that, I have 3 Super Poly.
3 Super Poly, the spice.
Yes. Super Poly, this card is absolutely broken. I've made a few rants about this in a few Discord calls with my friends. This card is just one of those cards where I don't know why it ever came back, but it's absolutely broken, so I'm going to use it while I can. Because, I don't know, the board breaking potential plus it being a potential interruption on your opponent's turn while they're playing, depending on what deck it is, the versatility of it being either a board breaker or an interruption piece is kind of like impermanence, which is why I really like this. It's just it can be used for either, so I just like that versatility. And also 3 impermanence.
The 3 imperm.
Yeah. Imperm is just another one of those hand traps that's just been great since release. Right, yeah, and especially right now in the current format, it is just fantastic.
And what's the last
hitting
card?
Hitting Snake Eyes Ash is insane, but the last card in the deck is Called by the Grave. Gotta run Called by the Grave. This is one of those cards that I have been a fan of since TOS format, and so have a bunch of my friends. We say that this is an auto-include, especially if you just need a 40th card, Called by the Grave. It stops almost any hand trap in the game at the moment, so why wouldn't you run it? It's just free.
Let's see the extra deck.
Yep, and the extra deck we have 3 Shangri-Era. Shangri-Era special summons a Kashtira during each standby phase, so both yours and your opponent's. If a card your opponent controls is banished face down, you can target a zone your opponent controls, and while Shangri-Era is face up on the field, it cannot be used. Locking zones and banishing cards. The Kashtira monsters do nothing but banish your opponent's cards face down, and this used to just lock people out of games. Now we're doing this when that's not really something I'm doing very often, but this card is such a great endboard piece. The potential to lock up pendulum zones, especially with the rise of Melodious coming, is really nice.
Super nice.
Yeah, so being able to stop pendulum scales is really nice for that. They can't use both of them if you have this on your field. Plus, any other rogue pendulum decks just kind of instantly fold to this in some scenarios where
yeah,
they
it's
can't
really funny in a format of like Melodious, and like your finals was against Melodious, so
Yep.
did that come up against them?
It didn't really come up too much. My opponent didn't draw too many of the actual Melodious scales, and I opened Shifter twice, so it was kind of nice for me in the finals, but it can come up. So just having that kind of versatility of locking up pendulum scales against in a format where that could be useful, it is nice to have.
Super nice.
Mm-hmm. After that, we have the 3 Super Poly targets with Mudragon, Garura, and Predaplant Trickus.
Would you ever run any other targets, or did you think these were just fine?
There's definitely room for other targets. I think that the Earth Golem could make its way in here for some Snake Eye boards, definitely. I didn't actually end up making this one tonight. I did make these ones very often. I made this one all the time with Super Poly, so...
I was making Mudragon all night, which is funny, but I didn't run Garura,
yeah.
So I was really happy I didn't need the Garura, but Garura is more relevant in this format, I think, because the Snake Eye boards.
Yeah, no, who'd have guessed, you know? No, but, yeah, no.
And the Stapelia, just for, like, you know...
Being an effect negate
branded.
and... Also, stealing fusion monsters from Branded is, really nice.
Always feels good.
Oh, yeah. No, just the versatility of having the 3. You could definitely run more if you want to, or you can change up which ones you're running. That's all up to personal preference and who you are as a person, Whatever you want to run, change it up, By all means. I'm not saying this is a perfect list, and I never will.
But good job on winning.
Thank you. After that, we have IPSP. This deck doesn't go into links very often, but there is a play line with Draco's Tapalia, since you have a whole bunch of 7s in your deck. Using the tokens, then making IP gets you IP into Apollosa with any extender.
That's so nice, yeah.
So, yeah, any way of not locking yourself... which you can do. It's completely doable. I did this in a few of the test games I was doing with a few of my friends before actually taking this to a locals. So it's completely doable, and it is a nice play line having this kind of access. Yeah, it gives you access to Appaloosa and Kashtira, so it's legal. Might as well
play it. You
play
made it against me. Or no, you didn't. Sorry, Kyle made it against me.
Oh.
But were you making it a lot?
I didn't make it tonight. As a matter of fact, I summoned these 5 tonight out of my extra deck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I only
the Typhon?
The Typhon actually did come up. My hand only opened Super Poly Rise Heart.
Oh,
with non-engine, and it opened 2 Rise Heart. I think I drew a second one for turn. So I was sitting there just like, oh, his hand does not do a lot. But I was able to summon Garura. I normal summoned Rise Heart. It got impermed, and I was sitting there going, well, there is one thing we can do, and that's summon the Typhon.
Is that a QCR access code?
Yes, it is. This one is not mine. That is Dana or our good friend Justin's, but they are letting me borrow a QCR access code for this deck, so it looks absolutely fantastic.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Wait, this didn't come up. It's just an option, though.
Yeah, no. A lot of these are just kind of options, which is why they're in here. Especially these 3. Big Eye is just another option. It's Change of Heart on a monster, which we're playing an entire deck full of level 7s, so it's just a free board breaking potential. I didn't end up using it tonight. I
could come up another night.
It definitely could come up. I didn't end up using it a good bit, honestly, because I found myself attempting to deal with SP Little Knight a lot tonight. Yeah. So a lot of the time I just found myself summoning a Kashtira monster, running into it in battle phase, and then doing all my stuff in main phase too. So a few cards like the Big Eye or the Draco Sack usually never came up, just because it's not that they're bad after main phase 1 or anything like that. Just I found myself wanting to make a board of Kashtira cards just after breaking my opponent's board, or just running over an SP Little Knight or something like that. It's just like, and on a few Kashtira monsters, let my opponent play a little bit, banish a few of their things, then commit to a whole bunch of extra deck stuff, is what I tried to do. It ended up working out. I liked it.
Let's see that side deck.
All right. So the side deck has 3 DD Crow, and 3 Ghost Ogre. I only ever sided in 2 copies at a time. I left the side deck mostly alone from what it was given to me as, but I do like the cards that are in it. The extra graveyard removal is a nice option to have in your sideboard, so I love DD Crow. Extra graveyard removal is never bad.
Yeah.
Ghost Ogre is good in some matchups, and especially helps the Tempai matchup, so having it in the sideboard for versatility reasons
really
I think is nice, yeah.
3 Gamma Seal.
Yes. Gamma Seal gets rid of monsters like Appaloosa or other monsters that are just, like against Raid Raptor, where they just have towers or something like that, where it's just very hard to out monsters. Out those, just run them over with Kashtira monsters, because this is smaller than any of your Kashtiras. Call it a day. Don't worry about it. 2 Nibiru, probably could be 3 of it. I think I would have preferred a third of this over either of these. Except for maybe the Ghost Ogre, so maybe taking out the third of this for a third of this just to see Nibiru more often, just because Nibiru is pretty good against some decks. Could also be something done. 2 Lightning Storm. I didn't side this one in too often, but you could. And then 2 Evenly Matched. Evenly Matched I sided in almost every time.
Such a good card right now with no
so good. I'm going to put a third one in when I find my third one, so I don't know exactly what I'll take out, but it'll probably just be slimming up a few of the ratios and probably taking out Lightning Storm. The destruction removal is not really too useful, and like I said, I didn't use it, so probably Cosmic Cyclone over this in the future or something like that. Besides that, I don't really have any gripes or complaints about this. The deck performed well, and I had a nice night.
Awesome. Also, well, thank you very much for coming on the channel and showing off your deck profile. So congratulations. Great job doing so well and smashing the competition. Everyone go check out Wheelz' YouTube channel, where he may or may not upload eventually, but we'll try to get some videos on there.
Eventually, yes.
For all you Fluffle, Plunder, and now Kashtira enjoyers. So With that being said, what was your channel name called?
It's The Wheel.
The Wheel. Okay,
Yes.
we'll leave a link down below. All right,
Thank you very much.
Please leave a comment down below what you guys thought about Wheelz' deck profile, and leave a like. If we get 150 likes, I'll pressure Wheelz into doing a combo guide. So
Sounds good to me.
with that being said, we'll see you guys later. Bye now.
See ya.